Welcome to the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Friday, May 3rd. This is Gina Palma. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen precipitation over the southern half of the Great Basin, especially over eastern and southern Nevada, further east across parts of the Arizona Strip and Utah, which has been above normal for the time of year. Drier conditions have plagued parts of Idaho into northern and western Nevada with well below normal precipitation, and some areas have not seen any precipitation in the last few weeks. Looking at new snowfall over the last 72 hours, we did have some new snowfall with a cold system that moved through northern Nevada, driving a cold front south. This brought some snow showers, which accumulated to a few inches on the valley floors over northern Nevada, and also snow in the higher terrain over 6 to 10 inches over parts of the higher terrain of Utah up into eastern Idaho and Wyoming. Looking at the current snowpack, we still have well above normal snowpack over Nevada, the Sierra, and over into Utah, with near to just above normal snowpack further north. If we look at the weather pattern as we go later into today, we can see generally quiet conditions across the Great Basin in between systems, with this area of low pressure well off the coast, and also another cold front driving south into the Great Plains. Dispersion will remain poor across parts of Idaho into northern and western Nevada, and somewhat moderate over parts of Utah into the eastern side of the Great Basin. Winds will remain relatively light in most areas, but still remain somewhat breezy out of the west, with winds across Wyoming into eastern Idaho as that system passes by to the north. Mixing heights will remain moderate to high region-wide. On Saturday, this area of low pressure off the coast will move a little bit further east, but still remain well offshore. We may see some isolated thunderstorms develop over central areas of Nevada into central Utah, but it looks like right now coverage would be fairly minimal and not really expecting much precipitation. Dispersion will also remain low to moderate across the Great Basin. On Saturday, winds again being relatively light over western areas and moderate over the eastern half of the Great Basin, with moderate to high mixing heights. As we move into Sunday, this area of low pressure moves into the coastal areas of California. This will allow precipitation to start increasing in California, with some showers and thunderstorms developing in the higher terrain of the Sierra, and also continuing over parts of northern Nevada and northern Utah. But again, these thunderstorms further east will be fairly isolated. We also have another system dropping south into the northern Rockies, and this may clip parts of eastern Idaho into Wyoming, bringing some precipitation up north as well. Otherwise, dispersion, again, winds will remain on the lighter side over western areas, so we'll have poor dispersion, and a little bit breezier over eastern areas, allowing the ventilation index to increase. You can see those winds in the image on the left, the breezier winds over the Arizona Strip, far southern Nevada, and mainly the eastern half of the Great Basin, with high mixing heights, mostly region-wide with the exception of parts of the Sierra into central Nevada. Looking at the forecast clearing index over the next few days, today clearing indices will remain more moderate, however will be increasing as we go through Saturday and Sunday and those winds increase. Looking at overall amounts of precipitation, fairly light precipitation expected with any thunderstorm activity across the Great Basin. We may see some heavier amounts of precipitation as these thunderstorms develop over the higher terrain of the Sierra as we move through the weekend. As we move into next week, we are looking at a wetter pattern now moving across the Great Basin, as we will have a series of low pressure systems plague the Great Basin next week, and this will bring again showers and thunderstorms mostly region-wide. On Monday, we'll see those showers and thunderstorms in most areas, with generally moderate to high ventilation index. On Tuesday, this area of low pressure moves further east, and again, we'll keep showers and thunderstorms across many areas of the Great Basin. This will also continue on Wednesday and also into Thursday. These areas of low pressure really hang around next week, therefore we are looking for those wetter conditions more region-wide as we move through most of the week. Looking at the forecast amounts of precipitation, this takes us from just Monday through early Wednesday. You can see where those showers and thunderstorms will produce the highest amounts of precipitation, mainly in the higher terrain, but we'll also see some of those lower elevations pick up some light amounts of precipitation. And again, wet weather will continue past Wednesday through all of next week. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, which takes us into the second week of May, we're looking at still warmer temperatures over most areas with the exception of cooler conditions over the eastern side of the Great Basin, and still this wet signature keeping precipitation above normal across most areas. The only area that might see lighter amounts of precipitation or drier conditions would be further north up across Idaho. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Monday for the latest updates.